Good evening. Welcome to the Finance Committee meeting for Thursday, May 11th. First item on the agenda, approval of the minutes from April 13th.
Move to approve.
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Update on our tax sale.
Okay, so our tax sale is complete. Attached a list of the properties that we had started off with. We had 26 properties that we began with, and we'll say we had 3 that actually went to the auction itself, bringing in about $97,000. 2 of the properties went to bankruptcy before the auction, so we'll be just waiting, as the proceedings go, if we do collect on those. All others before the auction occurred made payment or payment plans. So as a overall tax sale, we were very successful. Gathered over $400,000 of the $450 that was anticipated. So
That's the 409, 377?
that's correct.
Okay.
And then we're still hopefully going to get more from the 2 that were under bankruptcy too.
That's right.
That's good. So the plus side's another 60,000.
Exactly.
Okay.
And Mona, as I understand it, for the ones sold at auction, that does not mean money in the bank in the near future. It means that the deed sits in escrow for 6 months or so and gives the property owner a last-ditch chance to redeem, correct?
That's exactly what happened.
So either we get paid and with the mandatory 18% accruing on it, or after the 6 months, we then get the
Sale price.
We get the sale price.
No,
Okay.
actually, we don't get the sale price. We get what was due us. So yes, I had to.
Right. Yep.
Okay, because there'll be fees and so forth to be covered.
Okay. Yep. Thank you.
So the positive is that adds into the 23-24 budget as an additional revenue source, that
In 22, 23,
22-23, okay.
yes, yes.
Well, but the money isn't going to show up until fall of '23, though.
For those 3,
For,
correct.
for those 3, yeah.
Yeah, those-
If that was the question, yeah.
Okay, I did not answer it properly. The others
I don't think I
were-
asked it right, to be honest. But that's okay. The other one's already collected, so.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean that's about $100,000.
That's right.
Yeah. Yep. So that's a positive.
Yep.
All right. Update on special revenue?
Okay, and on special revenue, not a lot of activity in there. We've got our same accounts that we're watching. The asset forfeiture has $261,000 in there. Just note that I did get the invoice for 2 vehicles. The police department were purchasing from that, so we'll see that decreased in the next monthly report. Again, we have the balance in the human services, working with them on plans to use those funds. Our fire calls, at this point through the end of April, there's about 63,000 collected. There's 89,000 billed. We're looking at pricing for the transmitters at this point, which looks like they're coming in around 99,000. So they want to make sure they can get a good price before any prices are changing, so they're watching that closely.
So just on the 89,000, that's in addition to the 63 or including the 63?
Including the 63.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, so another 25 outstanding.
Yeah, there's about a 60-day delay on the collections, but
Okay.
they haven't been interrupted. They seem to be steady flow.
All right, thank you for clarifying.
And let's see, we got reimbursements coming in on that brownfield and private duty. We'll see a transfer at the end of the year for health insurance costs. They pick up a portion of that. So those are the highlights of special revenues.
Any other questions on special revenue?
I don't.
No. All right. We'll move on to the update for reserve for capital and non-recurring expenses through April 30th.
I got a trend going here, not a lot of activity. We had a slight increase on that expenditure column at the bottom, which is Board of Ed miscellaneous improvements. We've got some architect expenses for the planning for the Griswold roof project. So we just had some additions in that line.
All right. Are we good on this one?
We are.
All right. Let me just get back to my schedule. State aid to municipalities.
Okay, so we received the second payment for the Mashantucket Pequot money. We'll get the last one around the beginning of June. And we also received the final payment for the ECS grant. So that one is received in full. So other than that Pequot money, pending on the third payment, we also have municipal projects, which historically has been coming in at the end of the fiscal year, so mid to late June.
Okay. It's pretty straightforward there. Any questions for Mona?
No.
No, we're going to keep moving along quickly tonight. Monthly finance report, pre-audit.
Let me change my gears here. So I won't read the entire summary, but you may notice that that summary is a little longer than the previous ones as we get closer to the end of the year. There are certain lines that will go over budget, but the goal is to have each department spend within their page. But I did want to take an opportunity to point out any that may stand out to you. But first, we'll talk about revenues. We got the tax report, tax collector's report, which is a wonderful report. We're at 99.5 for the month of April. So, I mean, it's very likely that we'll meet the 100%. Feeling confident about that. We are, the motor vehicle supplementals are coming in at the same pattern as prior year. And of course, you'll see on those prior year tax collected, that's a portion of the tax sale funds would show there. So that's the variation of 600,000 versus last year's 385. So tax is in a very good place. Touch base on state revenues. Interest still continues to exceed budget. We're over 300,000 at this point. Conveyance tax, we've discussed that before. We had a large transaction earlier on. Building permits are actually at 99% already. We received some of the permit fees for the Kelson Row, and we'll see that reflected there. Refund and recoveries, that's a comment from before. Overall, in expenditures, we're on target. Some items that we'll continue to watch as we get to the end of the year. Overtime, although we had dispatch, was using some of our overtime. They were fully staffed, and I just heard that they have one person gone again. So we may see this take another uptick. But it looks like it's a quick turnaround, so we won't be too worried yet. There's a coding in the information service IT that's really software versus IT. So if that jumped out, it's a coding that will be addressed. Let's see what else we have. Tree care is actually quite a bit over budget, and this is one of those examples of looking at the program page, and they're trying to do whatever they can to offset that excess. If there's any excess in there, tree care is something that can be allocated to that town aid road expense. So we're not, it's large, but we're not terribly concerned. Electricity, it's still tending to run high. Working out the credits, had a great meeting with the Board of Ed today, so we're on track with balancing those out. And let's see, anything else? Insurance, still watching that. Again, it's our first time trying out with this new funding source where we're looking at the effect of claims. It may be in over budget, but still within something we can manage by year end. And I believe those should be the highlights, unless there were any questions.
Questions?
No questions here.
Nope. No,
I think
thank
it's a
you.
good summary. And do we have anything for other?
Nothing for other.
All right. Entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.